Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new video. This will be a part of a series on hemostasis. This part one will be discussing how we actually prevent clots. So we'll give a brief introduction and then we'll look at mostly how clots are prevented. So as we begin this, what are we going to discuss? The three basic, with an introduction and three basic phases. We're going to look at how clots are prevented and these content that are under there. I'm not going to sit and read everything, but let's talk about this. Let me help you guys understand what's going on here. First off, we are dealing with hemostasis. What is hemostasis? First off, we want to break down the word. Hemostasis. Now, what we want to do, let's take the word, the prefix hemo. Hemo is dealing with blood. Stasis is dealing with stopping. Okay, so what we are going to is going to be to stop. So this is how I stop bleeding. Okay, this is the process that will lead to the prevention of blood loss in a damaged blood vessel. So this is how we stop the liquid blood that's going to leave blood vessels when we damage a blood vessel. Now, since we understand what that is, there are three basic phases that are involved in hemostasis, and these three basic phases, each of them kind of interplay. One will feed the other. We'll talk and devote a video to these phases later on. The phase that we'll talk about is called the vascular phase. That will be our next video, is the vascular phase. Then we'll talk about the platelet phase, and that is a big one to talk about, is platelet phase. And then lastly, the real big one that everybody's going to be most excited about is the coagulation phase. And I hope I can really do a good job to help you understand this one. So these three phases, we're going to see that each one sets the stage for the next. And there'll be a big thing that we talk about in our next video. Now, what I want to help us understand is how do we keep and maintain a liquid blood? How do we keep our blood vessels from just bleeding all the time, or how do we actually prevent it from turning into a clot all the time? Why is it a liquid a lot? So, but it's not, we're not bleeding out, but how do we prevent unwanted clots and things like that? So what we're going to do to understand this is we're going to start off with drawing a normal blood vessel wall. And we're going to draw the endothelial lining, the endothelium here, which is a crucial part to maintaining, to preventing unwanted clots, as we'll see, is the intact endothelium. Endothelial layer, remember, is going to be crucial in this. Okay, so it's called the endothelium. Endothelium, in this case, is a simple squamous epithelium. So this is going to be the crucial part of the blood vessel wall I want to talk about. Now, why is the normal endothelium so important? Well, one of the things it's going to do is it's going to prevent any kind of collagen fibers down here, any of the collagen fibers that are present, from being exposed to the blood. Collagen fibers can help to activate blood vessels, can help activate the blood cells, the platelet adhesion, so they could get caught on that. But why is it such an important role, such an important factor? Well, one of the things we're going to see is platelets. They secrete chemicals that help us maintain a liquid blood. One of these is called nitric oxide, NO, which is a normal product made by cells during their metabolism. And another one, which is a type of prostaglandin that is produced, is called PGI. PGI2, a type of prostaglandin, an important one. And what's going to be the role of this? Well, the role of this prostaglandin is going to take our, keep our little platelet cells, and here let me kind of draw a platelet cell. We're going to make him look very sleepy. He's going to stay asleep. And this is what helps keep the platelets asleep. It keeps and maintains inactive platelet. Okay, so number one factor that we could say about these is the nitric oxide and the PGI2 are going to help inactivate platelets. So that's an important component to this process, something that's very important for us to understand about that. Now, here's another thing. We have a chemical, a type of molecule produced here, which is this one, heparin sulfate, is a glycosaminoglycan or a GAG called heparin sulfate. So let's write heparin here. Let me erase heparin here and start over. Okay, heparin. Heparin sulfate. Now, heparin, what it's going to do is it's going to assist this prevention of unwanted clots. And how is it going to do it? It's going to bind to a molecule here that's going to stick out into the bloodstream. We're going to make it look like the letter T here because it does begin. It has T in it. It doesn't begin with T, but it has T in it. And this is going to be antithrombin 3. So antithrombin 3. Antithrombin 3. Okay, antithrombin 3. Now, antithrombin 3, what it's going to do, let's kind of imagine that this has a pair of scissors. And I cannot seem to make things go the way I want them to go today. There we go. And it has a pair of scissors. And these scissors are going to cut and deactivate some very important clotting factors. Now, later on, I will give a full list of these clotting factors and what they actually are. Right now, don't worry until the very end, and I'll go over the full names. And in the description, there'll be a link to a document that will show you guys what it is. But it deactivates factor 2, factor 9, and factor 10. 2, 9, 10. Antithrombin 3, 2, 9, 10. Okay, so heparin, which binds to and activates this antithrombin 3, antithrombin 3 then degrades, it destroys the clotting factors 2, 9, and 10. Okay. Now there is another one that I want to talk about, and I'm going to use red to display this molecule, and this one is a glycoprotein, so a little bit of a different molecule, this glycoprotein here, and it's going to stick out of a normal endothelial cell, and it's going to be produced on the cell surface. And what it's going to bind to is thrombin. So in thrombin, let's say we have thrombin here. And we're going to make thrombin look like a T as well, kind of making it pink in this case, thrombin. So we have thrombin. Now in red, what that was thrombomodulin. Thrombomodulin. Okay, this thing, thrombomodulin. Thrombomodulin is going to bind to thrombin. Thrombin is then going to bind and activate a protein here, and I'm going to draw it kind of like Pac-Man. And what it gobbles up is factors 5 and 8. Factors 5 and 8. And it gobbles up and deactivates factors 5 and 8. So these things, what they do is they deactivate the clotting factors, preventing unwanted blood clots when we don't need them. Okay, this is why we don't always have a blood clot, is because of some of these factors here. So as we also mentioned, your collagen is also prevented from sticking out and activating and allowing platelets to adhere. So this is how we maintain and keep a liquid blood, okay? So what I want to do is give each and every single phase its own video, so they will be short instead of one massive video. So this actually concludes my video on how we keep a liquid blood. And I hope you find this very helpful. I hope my videos on this that are short but really good and detailed with the information that you need, with the molecules you need, will be very useful to you. Guys, thank you so much. This concludes my short video on an introduction to hemostasis and how we maintain liquid blood. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.